First light of dawn kissed the mountain road, casting a pale gold hue across the winding path. Shadows stretched long, whispering secrets of the night. The air was crisp, a reminder of winter's grass. Despite spring's promises, Jonathan walked slowly, his steps a pilgrimage toward a truth he had long avoided. The morning silence was profound, broken only by a distant bird call or the forest's soft rustle. Each step seemed consecrated by the stillness. Nature whispered ancient secrets to those who dared to listen. Holding a letter he never intended to send, Jonathan felt its paper, worn soft by indecision. The road promised clarity, yet within him churned a storm of uncertainty. He paused, inhaling the cool air, hearing the distant echo of his father's voice, strained like a forgotten melody, a yearning to be heard, to reconcile the silent years swelled within him, urging him to his knees on cold stone. Lord of mercy, he began, his voice a whisper mingling with rustling leaves. Guide me through this path I seek, your wisdom to mend what's broken. The wind picked up swirling leaves around him like an embrace. In the tranquility of that moment, he felt God's presence near. Listening, Jonathan rose, resolve coursing through him, his spirit fortified against uncertainties ahead. He tucked the unsent letter into his jacket, a testament to his prayer. The journey continued under nature's soft murmur, each step resonating with the earth's heartbeat. Jonathan's thoughts turned to the unsent letter, each line a dance of regret and longing for the father he once knew. He imagined the letter carrying the weight of unspoken truths. His heart ached under unresolved emotions, a symphony of longing and hope resonating within. As the path narrowed, he paused against a tree, its branches alive with spring buds. The tree stood as a witness to his tumult, offering support without judgment. Here, where life began anew, he found solace in prayer. Shepherd of my soul, he called out longing. A gentle breeze caressed his face, whispering hope, its coolness was balm. To his weary spirit, Jonathan closed his eyes, sensing a shift within. Divine hands peeling back his heart's layers. Psalm 23 danced through his heart. A living promise of divine shepherding, assuring him he was never alone. Each word was a stepping stone across turbulent waters, leading him toward reconciliation. He felt an urge to call his father, to bridge their chasm with love and humility, to weave their relationships torn fabric with threads of grace. A turning call. The climb grew steeper, the mountain demanding more. Yet Jonathan felt lighter, a burden lifting with each step. The sun was a golden crown on the horizon, its rays urging him onward, a reminder of new beginnings. He took out his phone, his hand trembling over the familiar number. His heart pounded with anticipation. Would his father answer, and would the chasm be crossed? With each ring he breathed a silent prayer. Holy One, give me courage to speak from the heart. Let this call be a vessel of your grace. When his father's voice came through, gruff yet warm, Jonathan hesitated, the unsent letter a specter between them. Words finally stumbled out, uneven but sincere. The conversation unfolded not as between crisp, the river winding through the city mist dances above, first light tenderly embracing the scene. I stand on the cobblestone path, guitar in hand, fingers poised, sunlight filters through fog in a tapestry of pale gold and shadows, creating peace amidst the waking city. I strum a gentle melody, reaching for heaven's harmony. The notes float, mingling with the river's quiet song. Suddenly a discordant twang, a string snaps, promise broken, heart sinking like a stone. Ripples of doubt spread through my spirit. Kneeling by the riverbed, I cradle the broken string, a vibrant lifeline now severed. The frayed ends mock my efforts, calloused fingers trace the jagged edge of disappointment. I bury my face in my hands, grounded by the stones beneath around me. The world breathes, but inside my spirit teeters. Silent words rise, a prayer birthed from even my music falters, show me my path, for I am lost. The river murmurs beside me, its voice a whisper of hope I strain to hear. Stretches as I stay by the murmuring river, the minutes slipping easily. Suddenly a passerby, a woman in a faded blue scarf, hums softly a tune I know, an ancient hymn of comfort. Each note fills the air with warmth like sunlight breaking through clouds. My heart lifts, she pauses, her gaze kind, eyes mirroring compassion. Our eyes meet, and grace nudges me, a reminder that my shepherd is near. In the ensuing stillness, I offer another prayer. Shepherd of my soul, I surrender my burdens and doubts. Teach me to listen, trust each day's song, however unexpected. With new resolve I rise, determination unfurling like spring's breath. The river sings its eternal hymn, a reminder of my journey. With renewed purpose, I reach a small shop in a narrow alley, renowned for its instrument strings. The shopkeeper, an old man with wise eyes, nods knowingly. We share an unspoken love for music. I select new strings, fingers tracing their promise, echoes of potential songs yet to sing. Replacing the broken string, my hands move with reverence, a meditation on notes yet to be played. The ritual is sacred in simplicity, a communion with craft and creator, knitting together what was separated. This act feels like an answered prayer, gratitude swelling for a second chance. Prepared, I return to my river spot. The air feels warmer, the sun blessing the earth. I play again, the melody unfurling like a blossom, led by an unseen conductor. Each drum is a conversation, prayer answered, a dialogue with the divine beyond words. My music flows renewed, stitching silence with hope, a testament to redemption. The woman in the blue scarf returns, her melody weaving with mine. Her presence is an invisible thread binding us, shared joy in music. Her smile echoes the kindness her hum gifted earlier, a small but profound grace lightening the soul. We nod in recognition, two souls intertwined by hymns and sacred songs. Music mingling like rivers here. By the riverside I feel the Holy One's presence, a moment of of worship and unity. I play on my heart open, ready for divine rhythm. The river flows beside living water, a testament to second chances. Passers-by linger, steps slower, hearts lighter, caught by unseen grace, woven into the morning. Each note finding grace in the rain. Act I a night at the shelter. The rain danced upon the city streets as I hurried to the community shelter. Each droplet under the streetlights created a mosaic on the wet pavement. The persistent drumbeat of rain against my umbrella accompanied my brisk pace, while crisp air added mist to each breath inside. Warmth embraced me, contrasting the biting cold outside. The room buzzed with murmurs of people seeking refuge from the storm. As a volunteer, my task was simple yet profound, ensuring each bed had a blanket against the night's chill. Moving through the room, a subtle unease crept over me. We were short on blankets, and a man in the corner shivered under his thin jacket. His weary eyes reflected countless nights of survival. A knot formed in my stomach, a tangible sign of helplessness. Quietly I retreated to the supply room, seeking solitude amidst the bustling shelter. Lord of mercy, I whispered, my voice a breath against the rain's rhythm. Help me help them. Returning to the main hall, my heart felt heavy. The storm mirrored my inner turmoil. The rain, a reminder of the gap between need and provision. I couldn't produce another blanket, no matter how I wished. The man shifted again, his jacket visibly inadequate. An insistent thought entered my mind, a divine whisper. Let your table grow longer, it echoed, wrapping around my heart like an encouraging embrace. Shepherd of my soul, I pray, teach me to extend your grace. With resolve I approached him and offered my blanket, a gesture of sacrifice and necessity. His eyes widened in surprise before gratitude settled in. He accepted it with a nod, unspoken thanks softening his features. Amid sacrifice, peace washed over me, a balm for my earlier anxiety. The room glowed as if God's light had threaded through the rain outside. As time slipped away, it was time to leave. The storm persisted, an inescapable companion. Stepping into the drizzle, a fellow volunteer pointed to a young woman at the entrance. Her bare feet, reddened by the chill, stood stark against the wet ground. She hesitated, scanning for dry spots with longing, her shivering form a tableau of vulnerability. I felt it again, the divine whispers unmistakable. Tug, Holy One. I prayed, show me how to step forward in faith. The answer was clear, untying my shoes. I offered them to her astonished. Her gaze met mine, disbelief and gratitude transforming her. slipped them on, each lace up an act of grace. Watching her walk away, each step carried renewed hope beneath the gentle rain. Turning homeward, the wet ground chilled my sock-clad feet. Each step a personal communion with the earth. Yet within me, warmth blossom, a joy from obedience, from becoming an instrument of God's unfathomable love. In these sacred moments, we were connected, each kind act weaving us into a greater tapestry of His love. Through small acts, God's table indeed grew longer, encompassing us in His infinite grace. The rain, though cold, carried whispers of angels, each drop a reminder of the divine presence we are called to emulate. Lord of all comfort, guide our steps in the path of your peace. May our actions reflect your love and kindness. Help us to extend grace wherever you lead us, with each prayer and step at us. Build your kingdom on earth. Amen. The dusty boxes, pale gold light spills across the attic. As I open the creaky door, early winter's chill embraces me, each breath forming tiny clouds before dissolving into morning quiet. The attic untouched since Jeremiah's passing is cloaked in time and dust. A gentle hymn, soft as a whisper, echoes through the rafters and wraps around my heart. Stepping further, silence feels sacred in this trove of stories, beckoning me as its steward kneeling. My fingers graze a box's faded surface, dust clings like sorrow to my heart. Tears blur memories of Jeremiah, intertwined with absence. Lord of mercy, I whisper, grant me strength to let go, to find peace in this place. A raw, honest plea rises amidst a smoke swirling in sunlight, a private universe. My prayer lingers like incense as I unwrap box after box. Each relic teems with echoes of laughter, old arguments and moments of joy. There's comfort in this sorting task, a sacred dance with the past. Photographs, letters yellowed with age, and keepsakes spill forth, holding stories tucked away in untouched heart corners. The hymn swells, resonating deeply. Clarity dawns, a nudge, the Holy One urging me to share these memories beyond the attic's confines, allowing others into our sacred past. A crisp knock interrupts, it's Mrs. Jenkins next door with an apple pie. Her kind, searching eyes pierce my practice facade. Her presence, an invitation to community, breaks my self-imposed isolation. As we exchange pleasantries, her warmth answers a prayer unspoken, a fierce longing for fellowship and shared experiences stirs my heart. A prayer of boldness. After Mrs. Jenkins leaves, I linger by the fogged window, gazing at the frost-kissed street. Trees stand like sentinels against the gray sky. Shepherd of my soul, I pray, as my heart turns like leaves in the wind. Grant me courage to step beyond these walls, to share these stories. It's a prayer of surrender, to open my hands and heart to new possibilities, stewarding not just objects but the enduring love they signify. The sun casts long shadows, warmth unfurling within me, akin to spring's first bud. My resolve crystallizes to host a neighborhood gathering, sharing the stories these boxes hold, nurturing a community. Jeremiah cherished deeply, I envision laughter, shared memories echoing through the rooms. This home alive with the spirit of connection. An autumn of connection. Autumn leaves rustle as neighbors enter, each step testament to the prayer's power. Quiet rooms fill with voices, aroma of shared meals, walls vibrating with joyful energy. Faces seen in passing become familiar as stories are exchanged. Fragments of love and legacy melding into a narrative binding us together. I'm buoyed by connections once resisted, each interaction a gift, reminding me of the cherished community Jeremiah and I valued. Recounting tales, fragments of love and legacy bind us with invisible threads of grace. Faces alight with friendship reflect the setting sun, painting the room in gold and warmth. In this vibrant community, my transformation completes, no longer solitary but a Steward of stories, binding hearts with grace and gratitude. The attic, a monument to mourning, now serves as the cornerstone of relationships, testament to die. Strings of winter. Glenn stood by the riverbank, a lone figure against the cityscape, his coat a frail shield against the winter night. Above the crescent moon peeked from cloud cover, while city lights danced on the water like fireflies. Glenn's breath puffed visibly in the cold air, a silent rhythm. Traffic hummed a distant symphony. The city's indifferent embrace enveloping him. Beside his worn hat, coins glinted faintly, tokens of gratitude from passers-by who paused for his music. With a practiced drum, Glenn let the melody flow, fingers dancing across strings, weaving warmth into the chilly night. The melody painted images of better days. Then a sharp twang, a snap string silenced the song. Glenn's shoulders sank under the weight of the silence, heavier than the rain that began to fall, gentle but unrelenting. Kneeling, reaching for the broken string, frustration mingled with sorrow. Lord of mercy, he murmured, head bowed. Why am I always at the end? I need to believe you have a purpose, but where is it? His prayer climbed into the winter air, a plea carried amidst the rain to the heavens, a hum in the rain. For a moment Glenn felt alone amid the city's symphony. The rain persisted, each drop a steady percussion. But then, beneath the rain, a new sound emerged, a gentle hum weaving through the night, a thread of hope. A passerby, coat the color of dusk, stopped beside Glenn. Lingering, the stranger hummed softly, picking up the tune where Glenn's guitar had faltered, each note warm against the cold night. The melody rose, harmonizing with the rain's rhythm. Glenn's heart skipped, a divine whisper in despair encouraged. He closed his eyes, letting the melody enfold him, cradling his spirit in something larger, a memory of spring blossom, a tender reminder that even the harshest winter yields to new life. The city faded into the background as he prayed silently. Holy One, he prayed, I surrender my doubt and fear. Use me as you will. Show me the path I cannot see. Spring's promise, the rain slowed to a gentle mist, the earth imbibing renewal, stirred by the stranger's hum. Hope re-emerged in Glenn, digging into his pocket. He found a single spare string, forgotten, now remembered, a small gift in need. With numb fingers, Glenn replaced the broken string, guided by newfound hope. The stranger watched silently, his presence steady, eyes promising to Glenn's heart. Glenn strummed tentatively, then with confidence, the guitar's voice emerging anew, richer, more resonant, each note a testament to resilience, each chord a step on the path God revealed, a path path of music, healing faith. The music carried him forward, a bridge of sound and spirit spanning his struggles. The notes floated into the night, a dialogue with the universe. A faithful melody. As Glenn played, the stranger slipped away, his presence a powerful force. The air was lighter, the rain a soft whisper. The melody became a duet with the world, a harmonious conversation with the unseen. Glenn played longer than ever, each note carrying him across the hours, until the city's hum softened and the rain ceased. His hat filled anew, not just with coins, but with encouragement from those drawn into his music's embrace. In that moment, Glenn felt kinship with the river, its persistence, flow, unshakable trust in finding its way to the sea, mirroring his heart's journey. The river, like faith, forged unseen paths, trusting the pull of greater waters. Holy One, shepherd of my soul, thank you for guiding me through doubt. Keep my spirit open to your whispers, that I may hold fast to your promise. In each trial, strengthen my song. Amen.
Lift your eyes to the hills. Acti. Approaching storm.
The village lay cradled between the restless sea and the steadfast hills, a place where the horizon blurred into an infinite canvas of sky and water. Tonight, the soft patter of rain on the rooftops created a familiar melody. Each drop, a gentle note in the symphony of the night. The villagers went about their preparations with a quiet resolve, knowing that the storm's arrival was inevitable. The wind whispered its arrival, teasing the waves into a frenzied dance.
Lantern in hand, I walk the narrow path leading to our small chapel. The light casting flickering shadows that played upon the cobblestones beneath my feet. Each step crunched on the gravel, creating a rhythm of anticipation that matched the growing tempo of the storm. The scent of salt hung heavy in the air, mingling with the earthy petrichor released by the rainfall. Inside, the chapel was a sanctuary of worn wood and whispered prayers, the benches bearing the weight of countless spirits who had come before, seeking solace and strength. The grains of the wood told stories of generations, hands that smoothed them in moments of despair, knees that had bent in earnest supplication. I approached the altar, my heart a mosaic of hope and fear, setting down a loaf of bread and a pinch of salt, symbols of sustenance and life, of our dependence on the Creator who gives and takes away. My eyes closed and I bowed my head, my voice blending with the rain's crescendo. Lord of mercy, I began, the words barely escaping my lips. Our nets have been empty, our tables sparse. We fear the storm but know not how to prepare. Guide us, Holy One, through this night. The rain intensified, its rhythm drumming on the chapel's roof, resonating with the anxious beat of my heart. In the whispers of the wind, I sensed a divine presence, a gentle nudge towards patience and trust. Though my spirit wrestled with the encroaching shadows of doubt, I turned, the chapel door creaked open, and I turned to see a shadow framed by the warm glow of my lantern. It was John, my son, who had departed to the city many moons ago, chasing dreams that had fractured our hearts. His clothes clung to his frame, soaked and weary, an echo of the prodigal returning, his spirit heavy with the weight of unfulfilled promises and broken aspirations. The drizzle softened to a mist, enfolding us in its quiet embrace. We sat together, our breath visible in the cool air, mingling like the words left unspoken between us. John reached for the bread, breaking it with hands that trembled. The salt pinched as if seeking stability. Father, he voiced each word a plea for redemption. I lost my way. The city's lights grew dim and my heart grew heavy. Forgive me. My hand, weathered by time and circumstance, rested on his shoulder, feeling the tremors of his journey etched in his bones. Together we bowed our heads, the chapel's quiet, embracing our prayers. Lord, shepherd of our souls, I prayed. The sincerity of his return filling my heart. Bring us back into your fold. Grant us the strength to forgive and the courage to rebuild. In that sacred silence, the storm outside became a distant murmur, overshadowed by the fervent plea that united our hearts. I sensed God's guidance in the quiet, His presence weaving through our wounds, binding them with threads of grace. As news of John's return spread, the village gathered within the chapel's warmly lit embrace, drawn by both his return and the ominous storm brewing on the horizon. Faces etched with worry and hope filled the pews, each soul seeking solace and strength. As the bread and salt found their way into each hand, a quiet unity formed, a collective breath of hope shared on this bottle. cacti, the gathering clouds. Dusk draped the small fishing village in hues of deep indigo and burnt orange, with shadows stretching longer as the sun dipped below the horizon. The brisk, salty breeze swirled in from the sea, whispering secrets of an impending storm. At the village's edge, an old wooden chapel stood as a steadfast sentinel, its cross silhouetted against the dimming sky. Inside, the flickering candles cast a warm glow, filling the air with the comforting scent of wax mingled with well-worn pine. Villagers, each face a map of struggles and resilience, gathered in a tapestry of togetherness, their eyes, some weary, some hopeful, turned toward Anna. The village matriarch Anna stood at the altar, her presence solid and enduring like the chapel itself. Her eyes closed in prayer, she offered silent strength to calm the congregation's inner storms. The air was thick with anticipation, laden with whispered prayers as rain began tapping gently against the tin roof, swelling into a symphony conducted by nature itself. Anna's hands lifted a loaf of bread and a dish of salt, symbols of sustenance and preservation. Her fingers trembled slightly, yet they remained steady, a testament to her unwavering faith. Our Lord of mercy, she began, her voice gentle yet resolute, carrying through the murmurs and the rain's crescendo. We seek your shelter from the rising tempest. Guide us and bless us. Her voice carried the weight of faith, weaving a cloak of hope around the villagers, binding them in shared desperation. Their whispers harmonized into a chorus, climbing the wooden beams to merge with the heavens, a prayerful plea, reaching up to the divine expanse. Outside, the rain intensified, blurring the world into a watercolor of gray footsteps approached through the storm. Hesitant yet determined, the chapel door creaked open, revealing Samuel, Anna's son, thought lost to the relentless sea for 5 long years. Gasps and murmurs of disbelief and joy rippled through the congregation like a sudden breeze through the trees. Anna, her heart a symphony of relief and gratitude, moved slowly towards him. She reached out, trembling fingers cradling Samuel's face, feeling the warmth of life beneath her touch. His eyes, deep and storm-filled, spoke of trials and redemption, carrying moisture beyond the rain's touch. "I've come back, Mother," he whispered, each word an apology, a yearning for the warmth of home and forgiveness. Later, as the winds howled their final refrain, Samuel knelt by his mother at the altar. The chapel, with its familiar embrace, seemed to offer him solace as he sought peace within. "Lord of the lost, I am tired and broken." He prayed, his voice a beacon seeking divine guidance through the murkiness of his past. "Guide my steps back to your grace." His plea an echo of every heart that has known wanderlust and the longing for return. Calm before dawn, it dawns first light painted the storm-tossed sky with hues of soft pink and gold, like promises of renewal. The chapel, though battered, stood firm amidst nature's fury, a testament to resilience inside. Candle flames swayed gently, casting a golden glow on faces now bowed in gratitude. The storms passing left the sea rumbling with echoes, yet it found tranquility in its depths. Samuel sat alone, introspected his thoughts, swirling like the sea with the dissipating storm. The burden of estrangement lifted from his shoulders like morning mist under the sun's gentle warmth. The resolve formed within him, guiding his steps to the altar, where the bread and salt lay like sacraments of a new beginning. Lifting them, he shared the gesture with those around him, a testament to his renewed commitment. Shepherd of my soul, he murmured the words, a prayer of gratitude and promise. Thank you for bringing me back. I vow to walk your path, guided by your light. Stars amidst the darkness. Samuel's actions resonated throughout the village, igniting a unity against adversity like the spark of a single candle. Chasing away shadows, his return became a beacon of hope, inspiring the villagers to see beyond their own struggles. As the day unfolded, hearts found solace in God's gentle presence, a guiding star through their darkest nights. Samuel's presence grew vibrant and indispensable. He worked tirelessly alongside the villagers, mending the storm's destruction, patching leaky roofs, untangling torn nets, and healing the emotional scars left in the storm's wake. His transformation shone brightly, a testament to redemption, promising that even the bleakest night can reveal brilliant stars. Holy One, thank you for your guidance. Shine through the fog, Acti, the sound of silence. The wind curled around the city's dim streets, nudging it awake in the early hours. Its haunting whistle wove through the shadows like a ghostly symphony, whispering secrets only the morning would reveal. Streetlights cast lonely beams through the thick mist, clinging stubbornly to the sidewalks, their illumination creating a halo around each droplet that hung in the air. A warm glow spilled from the little bakery on the corner, its golden light a sanctuary against the chill, mingling with the fog that seemed to dance in the gentle breeze. Floor floated in the air like delicate snowflakes, settling softly onto worn countertops. The heart of a place steeped in history and love. Jacob, an immigrant from Eastern Europe, rose at 4 a.m. for his daily ritual of baking bread. This sacred practice honed over decades was as much a prayer as it was a routine. The soft rhythm of kneading dough unfolded in the kitchen, where the clatter of utensils provided a serene backdrop to Jacob's thoughts. But today a fog lingered not only outside but also in Jacob's heart. A veil of uncertainty that clouded his spirit. A sleek new bakery across the street threatened his livelihood, casting shadows over his modest shop, and his hopes' anxiety swept over him like an unwelcome guest, pausing hands deep in the pliant dough. Jacob whispered, "Lord of mercy, guide me through this fog." The kitchen seemed to breathe with him, a presence manifesting like the dawn, gentle yet profound. Although no words filled his ears, an assurance whispered, "Be still and trust." Jacob opened his eyes, sensing a divine nudge, inviting him to listen more than he spoke. In that quiet kitchen, he felt a warm embrace that began to melt away the icy tendrils of his worry. Breaking of bread, but the usual rush of customers trickled past Jacob's shop to the rival across the street. He watched his heart sinking as familiar faces vanished behind the sleek storefront, turning back to his sanctuary. He buried his grief in the comforting rhythm of kneading, trying hard to ignore the relentless whispers of failure echoing in his mind. Yet in that struggle, Jacob's hands moved with renewed purpose. Each loaf became an offering, a prayer crafted for sustenance beyond the physical. As the first batch baked, the aroma filled the room, winding through Jacob's soul like a healing balm, gentle and sure. Amidst the warmth of the oven, a thought unlike his own nudged him. A subtle whisper from the depths of his heart. Share your bread, startled by the simplicity of the message. He pondered this absurdity and scarcity. Could it be divine guidance, suggesting an unseen path? His mind debated, yet his heart felt a calm clarity, an unexpected invitation. By mid-morning, the sun's rays pierced through the fog, warming the earth anew with a gentle welcoming embrace. Jacob, pondering the divine whisper, stood by the counter with fresh bread cooling on racks, their golden crust promising comfort. Destiny crossed the street in Mia, the rival baker. Her uncertain expression and nervous hands lingered as she entered his domain. Her presence was unexpected, yet Jacob, driven by an impulse beyond mere understanding, offered her a loaf of his bread, a smile softening his features. "Here," he said, warmth surprising even himself. "For you." Mia's eyes widened, surprise mingling with gratitude. Her face softened, and in that moment a silent bridge of understanding unfurled, a gesture of peace and grace, dismantling the invisible wall of competition. As their eyes met, Jacob saw not a rival but a fellow sojourner, moved by the same treasured gift. A profound realization settled over Jacob's sharing, giving in scarcity, illuminated a path revealed through prayer and trust. The bread, once merely a survival necessity, testified to the power of divine whispers, subtly profound. In his soul's quiet, Jacob realized divine guidance had woven through his heart, crafting a purpose beyond his head. A light in the rain. City of shadows. Dusk settles over the city, street lamps flickering to life, casting shadows in the rain-soaked alleys, the sky. A bruised gray promises more rain, and neon signs hum like distant stars, their vibrant colors reflecting on the pavement. I tighten my coat against the chill, but feel the cold biting my bones. The scent of rain mingles with the city's pulse. A symphony of honking cars and hurried footsteps amidst this. I stand feeling lost until an old psalm surfaces. My grandmother's voice soothing. The Lord of mercy is my comfort. In my song, closing my eyes, I pray, Lord of mercy. I am weary and burdened. Guide me through this storm. Let my faith, though dim, burn bright. My plea matches my heartbeat, warm, stirring within, subtle as a whisper. It is as if the Lord himself wraps me in an unseen embrace. On the edge of forgiveness, the city's towers loom, glass and steel forming an imposing fortress. The rain steady hymn, pound but ease my internal struggle, drawn to a narrow stairwell. Each creaking step reflects my awareness. The walls, cracked with peeling paint, smell of dampness, echoes of forgotten rain, scenes from my argument with my brother replay. Words like knives, leaving deep scars. I pause on the stairs, regret pressing heavily, sinking onto the steps. The chill touches my skin and my heart clenches. Shepherd of my soul, I whisper, tracing the railing's rough surface. Forgive my harshness, help me mend what I've broken. As my prayer fades, clarity washes over me, lifting confusion and guiding me towards reconciliation. This moment opens a window to divine understanding. My steps feeling lighter, driven by an unseen hand urging action. The fire within, emerging into the night. The city's orange-lit windows glow against the indigo sky. Beacons promising safety and warmth. I stand at my brother's door, heart thudding with fear and anticipation. I knock, the sound firm despite my hesitation, echoing with inevitability. When he opens the door, his face mirrors mine. Shadows of our exchange lingering, the dry heat of his apartment contrasts the night. Grounding me, I'm sorry, I say, words flowing naturally. like first rain on parched earth promising renewal. I've been prideful and harsh, can we start anew? He nods, understanding passing between us. A silent exchange of forgiveness and hope. Hope flickers within, faith rekindling, shedding light on our path to healing. In this quiet moment, I sense God's presence in our shared warmth and forgiveness. Holy One, light the flame of faith within me. Guide my steps through the shadows. Heal my heart with your mercy, and let your love transform my soul. The echo of silent halls. Acti, the night's quiet watch. The cathedral loomed grandly beneath the moon's serene gaze, an architectural sentinel amidst the city's scattered lights and fleeting shadows. Its ancient stone walls steeped in centuries of sacred history, cradled an air of cool reverence inside. The lingering fragrance of evening vespers hung like a delicate tapestry woven from threads of myrrh and frankincense, infusing the atmosphere with a timeless sanctity. Carlos, the night shift janitor, moved like a solitary figure in this symphony of silence. His presence was almost ethereal as he glided across the expansive nave, the rhythmic swish of his mop leaving trails of devotion on the polished marble floor. Each step was a gentle whisper in the vast stillness, punctuated by the quiet, steady drip of water, a subtle cadence swallowed by the cathedral's grand silence. His heart was a heavy vessel, brimming with a yearning he struggled to articulate. A deep-seated longing for connection, a desire to be seen and heard beyond the empty pews that surrounded him like silent witnesses to his loneliness. Holy One, he murmured, his gaze lifting to the intricately crafted vaulted ceiling that seemed to stretch upward into the heavens themselves. I feel invisible here. Am I always to be this unseen servant, Lord? His voice faltered, caught between hope and despair, straining for something beyond the echo of his own voice. In the depth of his solitude, a whisper stirred within his heart, a gentle push toward courage, a quiet reminder that the unseen by the world is known and cherished by the Lord of mercy. Back to the warmth of the organ. At the far end of the church, the magnificent pipe organ stood as a silent guardian, a sleeping giant, waiting in hushed anticipation as Carlos approached. The low, resonant hum of warming pipes began to fill the sacred air, resonating gently through his bones like distant thunder, an unspoken promise of melody, yet to be born. Shepherd of my soul, he prayed, his voice a mere breath as his hands hovered above the cold, ivory keys. Guide me to where I truly belong. In that stillness, he sensed an answering presence, softer than the gentlest whisper, urging him to cast aside the mask of false ambitions he had worn for so long, Within the cathedral's sacred space, the unseen audience of the divine leaned closer, a warmth spreading through his chest like sunlight cutting through a mist. Moved by this divine communion, Carlos pressed a single note, allowing it to resonate pure and unwavering in the sacred silence. It was a note of surrender, an offering of his unseen self to the one who beholds all, a testament to his deep longing for connection and belonging in the sight of God. A new song. The note lingered like a lone star in the darkened sky, engaging in a gentle dialogue with the air around it. It was as though the very heart of the cathedral had begun to pulse. A slow, steady rhythm that mirrored the beating of his heart. Carlos closed his eyes, and within that moment of silence, a vision unfurled before him. He saw himself not merely as a solitary custodian, but as a steward of the sacred and essential thread woven into the fabric of something far greater. With a heart full of newfound courage, he let his fingers dance across the keys, coaxing forth a cascade of music. The organ sang under his touch, a river of sound flowing through the nave. Each note a beacon of gratitude, each chord a prayer sent heavenward. The music was a hymn of thanksgiving and praise, a testament to the rediscovered joy within his soul. As the last note faded into the ether, Carlos felt a profound release, a peeling away of the false identities he had worn for so long, stepping into the radiant light of true belonging. The dawn of transformation. When the final note had melted into silence, the sacred space felt transformed, as if the ancient walls had drawn closer, leaning in to absorb the richness of this moment. The bricks and mortar bore silent witness to his transformation. Grounded in the enduring embrace of divine love, Carlos stood there, inhaling deeply, savoring a lightness he had never known before. He realized now that the truest applause came not from earthly crowds, but from the divine who saw him, knew him, and loved him in his entirety. He turned, mop in hand, prepared to continue his humble task. But now each step was imbued with newfound purpose, his soul attuned to the divine whisper that beckoned him ever deeper into the mystery of who he was meant to be. His mundane duties transformed into sacred service. Lord of mercy, thank you for seeing me when I felt unseen, for guiding my steps in the silence, and for transforming my solitude into song. Let me always walk in your light. Amen. hostile corridor glowed dimly under the soft lights, reflecting the subdued shuffles of occasional feet. The silence was punctuated by the gentle patter of rain against misted windows and the distant beeping of machines, creating a hymn that accompanied those waiting in the uncertainty of night. Tom sat hunched on a rigid chair, his fingers tightly interlaced, as if clutching an invisible lifeline. His eyes roved across ceiling tiles, searching for solace amidst the silent passage of time, as he awaited news from the operating room. His heart swung like a pendulum between fear and hope, suspended in the corridor's time freeze. Lord of mercy, he whispered, his voice just audible above the rain's murmur. Please guide the surgeon's hands, I can't lose her, not now. Each word was a thread spun into the fabric of his prayer, a plea for divine intervention. In the quiet aftermath, the young nurse approached, her rubber-soled shoes silent on the polished floor. Her simple blue scrubs glowed under the artificial light, casting her as a beacon of hope. She stopped beside Tom, offering a gentle nod that conveyed empathy and shared humanity. Her silent compassion was a balm to Tom's weary soul, reminding him he wasn't alone in his vigil. As hours dragged on, exhaustion seeped into Tom's bones. A whirl of what-ifs and cherished memories swirled in his mind as he paced, shoes softly clicking in the empty corridor. Stopping at a window, his eyes traced the rain's descent, its droplets merging and splitting like the tears he couldn't yet shed. His phone vibrated, piercing the quiet. Seeing his brother's name, he hesitated. Their months-old argument seemed trivial now, yet it had driven a wedge between them, torn between pride and longing. His thumb hovered over the screen, feeling the weight of his choices. Tom bowed his head, shepherd of my soul. He prayed earnestly, I'm lost and need you to guide me back. Help me reach out. Warmth spread through his chest, a whisper from the Holy One soothing his nerves, nudging him toward reconciliation. With newfound courage he pressed call. Hey, it's me, he began, voice raw. I need you, please, can we start over? Their conversation started awkwardly, words stumbling out like tentative raindrops. Pauses were filled by the corridor's relentless hum. But as minutes passed and the rain's rhythm persisted, a transformation unfolded through shared memories and heartfelt apologies. The brothers began weaving their bond anew. Tom felt forgiveness seep into his soul, a soothing balm glancing across the corridor. He saw the nurse discreetly watching, her presence a reminder of shared journeys. Her quiet support affirmed the strength found in connection, and silent prayers from strangers. You're a good man, Tom. His brother's voice cracked with emotion. I'm here always. His sincerity resonated, dispelling Tom's lingering doubts. As the call ended, peace washed over Tom, burdens lifting to make room for new hope. The once confining corridors now opened up, filled with light and promise. Morning light stretched across the horizon, casting the world in gold. When the doors at the corridor's end opened, the surgeon emerged, fatigued but smiling. She's gonna be just fine, he announced, relief flooding Tom like a release. His knees buckled with gratitude. The rain had dwindled to mist, and Tom felt the Lord's presence enveloping him, filling him with quiet strength throughout the night's ordeal. He stood still, eyes closed, embraced by God's love, as tangible as a loved one's arms. Holy One, thank you for your presence in the night, for guiding me through shadowed paths and storm. In your mercy I find my peace and strength. May your light ever guide me home. Amen. Amen.
hospital hallway stretches long and sterile beneath the relentless fluorescent lights. Casting stark shadows against the whitewashed walls, I pace its length. The echo of my footsteps creating a metronomic rhythm that mirrors my restless heartbeat. My breath fogs the chilled air, which smells faintly of antiseptic. The biting cold of winter seeps through the window panes, and I wrap my arms around myself, though it's more a gesture of comfort than warmth. Each step seems to ripple in the silence, a reminder of the fragile line between hope and despair. Behind the door marked I feel you, my brother lies motionless, caught in the silent battle between life and an impending, unfathomable darkness. He has always been the invincible one, my protector, my friend. His laughter used to fill rooms, his strength a fortress that made the world seem unassailable. And now, as I slide down against the wall, the weight of my grief presses heavily, threatening to crush my spirit.
Lord of mercy, I whisper into the void, a desperate plea born on the wings of uncertainty. Don't take him, not yet. I need a sign, a glimpse of your presence in this shadowed hour. The words tumble out in chaos, roaring unrefined like a child crying out in the night. I close my eyes, my breath catching in my throat as I whisper these words to the one who listens. The harsh light washes over me with an almost ethereal glow, and I feel somewhere deep inside a stirring like the first breath of spring, trying to dislodge winter's icy grip. It's faint, elusive, yet a promise nonetheless.
Time loses all sense as I sit there, thoughts heavy with the weight of unspoken regrets and silent prayers. Each tick of the clock drags, elongated by the uncertainty of the waiting. A nurse passes by. Her steps are soft, almost reverent in their quietude. She pauses, her gaze gentle, and offers a small smile. Her eyes filled with an unspoken understanding. It's a simple kindness that begins to melt the ice around my heart.
As she moves on, I watch her go, a silent sentinel in this place of healing and hope. Her presence is a balm, a reminder that sometimes angels walk among us in human form, bearing witness to our struggles and our brokenness with compassion. The phone in my pocket vibrates, a sudden jarring intrusion into the sacred space. I pull it out, the screen flickering with life. It's our mother, her name bright against the dimness. I hesitate, my thumb hovering over the call button. The memory of our last conversation, sharp and unforgiving, lingering like a shadow. Guide me, Holy One. I murmur the prayer, a soft exhalation carried into the ether. I press the call, hoping for a miracle.
say my voice tentative and fragile as a spring bloom. Her reply is hesitant too, the silence across the line a chasm filled with past hurts and unspoken words. A sigh escapes me. I shouldn't have said what I did. I confess, the words tumbling out like stones into still water, causing ripples that extend towards healing. I didn't know how to forgive. Her voice cracks, a fragility that mirrors my own, her vulnerability piercing through the static. Neither did I, but we can try, can't we? As we speak, warmth blossoms through me, like buds pushing through thawing soil, promising new beginnings in the act of reaching out. We find healing, piecing together the shards of love shattered long ago. Our voices begin to weave a tapestry of forgiveness and grace. The conversation mellows, stretches, fills with laughter and shared memories. We begin to bridge our broken past with golden threads of grace and understanding. Each word a stitch in the fabric of reconciliation. Summer's embrace. Morning light bleeds through the hospital windows, softening the hall's harshness with its gentle golden embrace. The news comes just as the sun tips over the horizon. My brother is stable. Relief washes over me in cascading waves. Each crest a prayer of thankfulness, each truth a moment of effective gratitude. In the quiet aftermath, I find my way to a small chapel tucked near the hospital's entrance. Sunlight bathes the pews in warmth, and I kneel, heart open and thankful for the blessings of this